Hey guys, Mapletail here. Today is my reaction video to A Place of No Stars, the latest book released in the Warrior Cat series. So spoilers incoming for the whole book. And we're drawing Icewing. Before I get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, fan art time. This lovely piece is by Eefies Are My Friend. Thank you so much for drawing this, and for letting me show it off here. If you draw something you'd like me to see, feel free to tag me or DM me on any of the social media linked in the description. So as usual, this isn't a formal review, more just my thoughts chapter by chapter of anything that caught my eye. I just skimmed over the first couple chapters, as I've already read them on the Warriors website. So let's jump right into chapter 4. It's a Bristlefrost chapter. The first bit that caught my attention was when Limeblaze suggested that Bristlefrost should be the one to go get Winclan's medicine cats to meet at the moon pool, because she apparently, and I quote, must be the fastest cat in the forest. Is this like a character trait that's been mentioned before? And what exactly is this based on? Pretty sure it was just an excuse to have one of our protagonists go to Winclan, but it was pretty funny to me. I'm very happy that Bristlefrost quickly got out of there though, because the last thing I want is to listen to more arguing over the same thing. Winclan, of course, gives Bristlefrost a very hard time when she tries to reach Kestrel Flight. Like, why? What harm could she possibly do by speaking with him? Come on. Kinda sweet that Crowfeather seemed to agree after Squirrelflight's name was mentioned. Nice to see that their history still has some kind of effect on him. I have some real issues with what comes next. Crowfeather suggesting that Squirrelflight would willingly go with Ashfur. The phrasing of Limeblaze, Jayfeather, and Hollyleaf being Crowfeather's kits, well, Squirrelflight merely raised them. She's their mother. End of story. And the implication that just because Squirrelflight and Bramblestar's relationship had issues means that she must have had a better connection with Ashfur instead. Ew. They were both really problematic relationships, okay? Squirrelflight would honestly be better off without either of them, in my opinion at least. All that said, it was nice to get a little Winclan scene. They've been almost as ignored as Riverclan this arc. At the moon pool, they try and of course fail to follow Squirrel and Ash to the Dark Forest. Shadowsight's idea that since he's been to the Dark Forest before, that he should be the one to be able to return was pretty interesting. The chapter ends with a line about how he could do it if he had someone to teach him how to do it safely. Pretty intriguing stuff being set up there. Nice to have a couple more cats standing up for Shadowsight, like Frecklewish and Cloverfoot. Unlike cats like Misty Star and Limeblaze. After some debate about who should go into the Dark Forest, I found it interesting that Willowshine is chosen. Seems a little odd, but I'm glad to have a Riverclan cat in the spotlight for a minute. They were really building up how dangerous this whole thing was, and I was starting to get worried that they were preparing us for like Willowshine's death or something. And then of course Shadowsight would be the one who was really chosen for this mission. Unfortunately, my suspicions were quickly confirmed. Her death scene was unlike anything we've really seen before, and honestly, a little horrifying. Rootspring having to witness Willowshine's spirit rise up, and to see her own lifeless body, and then to be dragged away by some mysterious force? That's pretty damn dark. Rootspring trying to comfort Shadowsight at the end of the chapter was really cute though. Limeblaze continues to infuriate me with his unfair grudge against Shadowsight, and is proving himself a poor choice for leader in my eyes. Him wanting to not only punish Shadowsight, but to kill him? What the hell? That is way too far. Good for Spot for standing up to her father like that though. We love to see it. And I wonder if that's going to be some kind of tie-in to like her novella, which I have yet to read. Interesting cats who were suggested as possible leaders in this scene though. Ivypool makes a lot of sense, but Mouse Whisker? What an entrance by Greystrape though. Maybe he can talk some sense into everyone. And him becoming temporary leader? Amazing. I might have had an issue with this once upon a time, but after a super edition, I'm sure it's a perfect choice, all things considered. The scene with Shadowsight and Icewing in the medicine den really stuck out to me. and it's why we're drawing her. Her praising his bravery, but also warning him of how dangerous the Dark Forest is, and telling him about her son's death, was a nice moment. I always love scenes like this that focus on a minor character and give them a little time to shine. Shadowsight's attempt to get into the Dark Forest was pretty cool to read. Also, the repetition of the line about the Dark Forest turning good cats bad is really starting to concern me. Are the authors just trying to scare us, or is this some kind of foreshadowing? And with Mothwing accompanying Shadowsight to the Moonpool for another attempt, I was glad to have 2 Shadowsight chapters back to back. And these two are actually growing into kind of a fun duo, to my surprise. I'm curious who this grey she-cat was that Shadowsight spotted in the place of no stars. We know very few evil she-cats, and I can't think of any grey ones. Rootspring's dream about Shadowsight also caught my eye. Could he tell that Shadowsight was in danger because of their friendship, or his abilities, a bit of both? And lots of Moonpools seen this book, huh? Pretty wild when Willowshine's spirit dragged Rootspring into the water, claiming he's the only one who can save Squirrelflight. When the group decides to go to the sisters for help, Grayshirt mentions that Daisy is with them. I'm assuming this is explained in her novella, but pretty intriguing. When Shadowsight runs into a cat in the place of no stars, I recognized him pretty quickly as Snowtuft, with that white fur and scar. Interesting to learn from him that only some of the Dark Forest cats have agreed to work with Ashfur. I love this conversation between the 2 cats, where Snowtuft was trying to figure out how long it had been since he died. It was just really interesting to read. Then in the next chapter, we get to see Rootspring with Willowshine in the Dark Forest, and they spot Mapleshade and Silverhawk, who, unlike Snowtuft, seem to be working with Ashfur. We find out why these 2 have taken Ashfur aside. He's offered them what he has, the ability to take over a living cat's body, which is a frightening thought, if this actually works. It's just neat how much this book takes place here, and I love getting to see more of this forest that we've never really seen before. Like the lake with the spirits trapped on the island? Very cool. Awful, but neat. And good to finally get a little more info about what's been going on. I love that Bristlefrost is also going to the Dark Forest. I think it'll be really neat to have 3 of our protagonists together there. Once Shadowsight also finds the island, we finally find Bramblestar, after who knows how long at this point. I was a little surprised, to be honest. Things have been looking worse and worse for him. And Ashfur controlling Bramblestar to attack Squirrelflight? Not a fun time. And we better be getting an explanation soon about where he got all this power from. When Shadowsight gets spotted, so does another cat that Ashfur calls his faithful young warrior. Shadowsight found the figure familiar, so at first I thought maybe Rootspring, but that's kind of a weird thing for Ashfur to say then. And there's no way Rootspring would abandon Shadowsight like that. Shadowsight was very brave to attack Ashfur, but him falling in the lake was awful, and he better be alright. Oh, okay. The other cat was Bristlefrost, of course. And she didn't abandon Shadowsight, she woke up. And of course in the very next chapter, Squirrelflight manages to lose Bramblestar. At least she ran into Rootspring and Willowshine. Thanks StarClan, Shadowsight's next chapter starts with him waking up in the real world. The Yarns love putting him in mortal danger, huh? And he seems so worried about Rootspring now being in the Dark Forest. So cute. I really like their friendship. After Rootspring is captured and then escapes, what a plot twist that Willowshine is being controlled by Ashfur the whole time. Did not see that one coming, but I guess it makes sense in hindsight. Also very cool how big a part Snowtuft has in this book. Him first helping Shadowsight, now Rootspring. I'm a big fan of him right now. Kinda wish I picked to draw him. I'll have to do that sometime. It was nice to get so many Shadowsight and Bristlefrost scenes too. We haven't seen a ton of interactions recently, and I'm really glad that they're going back into the Dark Forest together to save Rootspring and co. And with the sisters' help, maybe they can. Oh my god, I just really like Snowtuft. Even if he deserved to go to the Dark Forest when he died, he seems to really be trying, and I can't help but feel sympathy for him. Once Bramblestar runs into Rootspring and Snowtuft, and the 3 come up with a plan to get his body back, and to save Squirrelflight, I was surprised and happy to read how well it went. There are so few victories in the Broken Code, and this felt like a good one. At least until the chapter ends with Rootspring being attacked by somebody. And Squirrelflight and Bramblestar returning through the Moonpool. Amazing. About time. Now if someone could just save Rootspring before this book ends, we're running out of time here. Bristlefrost and Shadowsight were so sweet, still willing to return for their friend. And oh my god, that ending. Ashfur seemingly forcing Snowtuft and Rootspring to fight. I hate cliffhangers. Thanks for watching. Honestly, I really love this book. I liked it a lot more than the last couple. If you've given it a read, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next Thursday.